This is Jim with A1 Repairs. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. The point of the following video is to provide you an up-close view of the products that we sell, as if you were heading into our local hometown dealership to purchase one. With everybody shopping online, this is our attempt to bring you closer to the product rather than just viewing words on a web page. Please be sure to email or call with any questions that you may have, and also like us on Facebook for the latest product and industry updates. Thanks, and enjoy the video. Alright, here we have the Husqvarna 560 backpack leaf blower. This particular model is the BTS, which is the right-handed throttle control, and there's also the 560 BFS, which is going to be the left-handed throttle control. So we'll cover a little bit later on in the video what the difference is between the two. So let's go over the engine statistics on this one. Now CC wise, this one's cranking in 65.6 cc's, and then the horsepower is 3.8 horsepower. Now when you go to buy a backpack blower, or you're checking the competitors out in that, you want to see what kind of performance it's going to actually, and the air movement that it's going to move out. Two different things you want to look for is CFM, or cubic feet a minute, and miles per hour. Now, we'll cover a little bit later on in the video in depth the difference between the two. But CFM is one of the most important. You want to look for the better rating. The higher the CFM, the happier you're going to be with it. Now this one at the end of the blower tube is I'm going to measure this right here, is putting out 632 cubic feet a minute. Up inside the impeller in the blower, it's putting out 889 cubic feet a minute. So whenever you're comparing the competitors and that, make sure you know where the measurements are coming from. If they're only giving you one, they're typically giving you a higher measurement inside the housing. And then miles per hour wise, this one's putting out 236 miles per hour. And the bigger the backpack blower, the more they're going to weigh, so you always want to keep in mind the weight factor. This one, depending on whether you go with the left or the right hand throttle configuration, you're looking at about 23.2 pounds for dry weight. So let's go ahead and take a look at this unit here. On the top, it's got a nice heavy-duty rubber spark plug cover that's recessed over the housing there, so that helps prevent from hitting real hard and breaking any spark plugs off. There's a standalone unboltable recoil on the front, so if you're ever out in the field, the rope snaps on you. It's a good idea to carry one of these as a spare. Just 4 bolts, real easy. Swap them out, you're right back in business. You can fix that recoil later on at home, at your convenience, so that you can go ahead and finish up with the job. There is a large, heavy-duty fuel tank on this. When you're out doing a lot of spring or fall cleanups, you're going to be running the blower 2 to 4 hours easily sometimes, and it's going to go through some gas when you're running them that long. So a nice large fuel tank's real nice for that. And the fill for the fuel tank is cocked out sideways, which makes it nice and easy to fill. There's also a tether on it right there for you, so you don't lose the gas cap or it goes rolling around on you. Now there is a purge primer for easy starting. It's right underneath the carburetor. You can hear that right there. And then there's a 1-position choke on this one. That's real easy. Just push down, you're in full choke position when you go to fire this one up, and then once it's up and running, you kick it back up into the open position. So let's go ahead and take a look at the air filter. I'm going to open this up. Alright, it's got a pretty big, about 1-inch thick brick foam here. And this is a cleanable and an oilable filter. Regular degreaser works just fine, so like kitchen soap is real good. You don't want to use anything with ammonia on it, like any type of window cleaning products that are out there. A lot of those have ammonia on them. So then when you're done, you dry it out, and because it is an oil filter, we like to use a 3-in-1 oil on it. You put a couple drops on it, you squeeze it in your hand, then you go ahead and place it back in. And this is the actual housing that holds the air filter and the metal mesh screen behind it. you'll notice on the side of the blower here, which is pretty easy to see, they got a heavy-duty rubber isolation mount or vibration mount, which is right there. And there's a couple of those positioned throughout the blower, and they work very well for keeping that fuzzy feeling that you get from the engine away from the operator's platform or the backrest that's touching you. So it doesn't beat you up as much, doesn't cause a lot of fatigue, and it just makes for a comfortable, smoother operation. And I'll tilt this to the side here. You can see where the intake screens are and the actual blower impeller. How you can shift those independent, and the two of them are moving there, and that shows you that it's got those isolation mounts on them, so it makes for a comfortable operation. You'll see right here where the air intake is for the impeller, there's heavy-duty commercial screens on them, and those help from a lot of debris getting inside to damage the propeller or impeller. And another thing too is you want to make sure you don't neglect this. Don't let somebody let this just get clogged up with leaves. If it doesn't have good air intake, it can over rev the engine, which can cause damage to the engine in the long run. So the other thing about the intake is not only does it suck from the side right there, but it sucks right through the back of the backrest on this one. So you got those hot summer days when you're sweating and sweating's rolling down your back. This actually sucks air through your back, and believe me, you'll notice it. It's very nice if it's a hot day. It does help cool you. There's vents underneath here, and there's vents all going up through the back right there. So heavy-duty rubber backrest right there for comfort, which is real nice. And then Husqvarna's got the ergonomic padded shoulder straps, which curve right there, and it forms to your shoulders, which is real nice. So the frame that you see on this one is a blow mold frame, and this is a heavy-duty plastic. It's not something that's brittle. It's not something that if you drop it, it's easy to snap or anything. So very good quality plastic right there, and you also see a lot of the holes right there where it's sucking air from the side. So you know, it's important to have something like that, a feature like that in a backpack blower. So it just makes for a good quality product. Another thing too with the backpack blower is, when you're out using them for, long periods at a time, it definitely can start ringing your ears a little bit. So keep in mind about safety gear and protection and that, gloves, ear muffs from Husqvarna. Works wonders of difference. I've ran equipment where I didn't use that for X amount of years, and then I started using them, and much more comfortable. Going at the end of the day, and your ears aren't ringing from being around an engine that was running for a couple hours at a crack. So. Well, here you have it. This is the Husqvarna 560 BTS, or the BFS model. And stay tuned here. We're going to go into a little bit more information about backpack blowers in general. Alright, this portion of the video is to teach you some general education about backpack blowers, things that you should look for when you're purchasing them, and a lot of the common questions that we get that pertain to blowers in general. So let's go over a couple things here that when you're going to purchase a backpack blower, what you should look for and what it means to you in the end. Now, when you go to buy a backpack blower, one of the most common things you want to look for is performance. Well, I want the best backpack blower on the market. And there's two different ways you can measure that. There's miles per hour, and there's also what they call CFM, or cubic feet a minute. Now, miles per hour more pertains to a pressure situation. So to give you an example of pressure where you want higher miles per hour in a backpack blower is, say you seal driveway. You did a lot of asphalt sealing, and you got the pressure heaves where you start getting cracks inside of the driveway. Well, you collect dirt inside of there. That's where you want pressure. The more miles per hour you can get, you can actually blow the chunks of dirt out of it. Now, that's the only place that you really want to pay a lot of attention to for miles per hour. If you've got a real large pile of leaves, what you want is volume. You don't want a little jet just shooting inside of that pile of leaves. You want a giant, massive airflow that comes right at it and hits it. So the second stat you want to look for on a blower is CFM, cubic feet a minute. The more cubic feet a minute that a backpack blower pumps out, the happier you're going to be with it. So if you're going to do any construction type work, or you're doing any landscaping work with your backpack blower, CFM is basically the #1 stat you want to look for. There's two different places that you can measure that as well. So pay attention when you're looking at the Husqvarna backpack blowers, you're looking at the competitors. There you can measure cubic feet a minute at the nozzle tip, and you could also measure it inside of the impeller housing right here. So make sure a good company will give you both measurements, but if they don't, typically they're going to favor on the side of the higher measurement, so they're going to mark what's inside of the impeller housing right there. So keep that in mind when you're going to purchase a backpack blower. Miles per hour is typically just done at the end of the blower tube, so you don't usually find two readings on that. So second thing that we get an awful lot of questions about is what do the letters mean on the backpack blowers. So this only is going to pertain to the Husqvarna backpack blowers right now. Is the numbers are always be the same, and we're going to use the 580 here as an example. But it's either going to end in BTS or BFS. Sometimes on the Husqvarna website, it may only be the 580 BT or the 580 BF, but the actual full number is the 580 BTS. In this one here as an example. The T stands for tube mount throttle. If there's an F in there, it's going to stand for frame mount throttle. And a lot of people like to refer this to as a left or right-handed blower. Now, one thing I want to point out is whether you're buying a left or a right-hand blower, all that has to do with is the throttle control and where the throttle is positioned. The blower tubes are always coming out on your right-hand side. So you're not going to find a backpack blower where it's coming out on the right and it's coming out on the left. It's only going to come out on the right-hand side for you. Now, the BTS, standing for tube mount throttle, which is what you see right here, has this particular design right here too. The throttle actually runs down a cable and it gets mounted. You got your flex elbow, which goes right here. You'll have your joint that hooks in right here, and this is a swivel joint. And then this handle mounts right to this too. This is an ergonomic handle. As you see right there, it's cocked in a forward position. That is adjustable on there. But what is nice is if you take your hands and just lay them down at the side, naturally your wrist sits a little bit crooked. So when you're operating this blower, you don't actually use it in the straight position. You're going to operate the blower like this. And it just naturally fits into your hands very well, and it doesn't tweak your wrists. Now, with the right hand throttle, you got the cable that's going to run down the tube. You've also got, there's going to be clips that holds the cable in place there for you. But with this particular, the right-handed model, there's going to be a squeeze trigger on it right there. What is nice about this is it's more like a gun trigger. You can actually feather the action. And there also is a cruise control on here. There's another knob right there. When you pull that down, you see that sucks the throttle in position and holds it for you. So it gives you can use it as a feather-like option, or you can also run it on cruise control. The kill switch is on here as well. Hear that right there? That'll kill the blower. Bring it back to the run position. You got to take the backpack blower off, put it on the ground. You can fire it back up. So, but this is your right-hand throttle or your BTS model, and this by far is probably our #1 seller. So you can use this commercial, residential, however you like. It's nice, it's convenient, you only have one thing to deal with. So let's bring a different one up here. Here is a 570 BFS, which is going to be your left-handed throttle design. And once again, like I was telling you before, the blower tube's still coming out your right-hand side right here. Okay, you're going to hook into your flex elbow, you'll have your pivot joint, and then here's the stationary handle. It's still an ergonomic handle, so it fits into your wrist nice and natural, and it still is adjustable for you. So, but just one position handle right there. And this is going to be your left-handed throttle design right here. And what's nice about this particular design is it's very impact resistant. Now the BFS models are more favored in the commercial market, and here's the reason why. They're on a spring joint right here. These are really designed to take an impact. So if you can see right here, I can flex this, move it up and down, bring it in the upright position. You know, say you crashed into the blower or something right there. It's just really designed for a commercial aspect. And the reason being, a lot of times what we get from customers or commercial cutters is they take their blower and they accidentally leave it in front of the trailer tires, or they're leaving it on in the trailer, the enclosed trailer, or sitting on the open trailer bed. And if you have a zero-turn rollover these or car tires, if you have the right-handed throttle design, not only did you crash into wreck your blower tubes, you also ruined your whole throttle mechanism right here. So this gets a little pricey to replace if you have to do that. So that's why the commercial guys tend to favor the left-handed throttle design. You'll also notice that the throttle cable is a lot shorter, and you don't have to worry necessarily about catching it on stuff. So this is really what the left-handed throttle design is for. The other thing I want you to pay attention to is the throttle is positioned on the tip right there. Zoom in there and get a real good picture of it for you. And it's always on continuous. So where I was telling you before on the other one with the gun trigger you can feather it, this one is going to pretty much stay wherever you have it right there. So if you want to feather the throttle, you got to continually move it back and forth. Or if you just like it on continuous, you can do that as well. I'm going to pivot it to the other side. You'll see there's a red switch right here. This is a kill switch, so you can kill it and shut it off. And when you're using this backpack blower, deciding to pick up a commercial one, I'm going to throw this on my back just so you can see how this works. The throttle's going to stay right there. So a lot of times people say, well, how do I get it up and down? It's really easy. It just grabs with your elbow, pulls down right there, lock into place. You can use it. If you want to leave it on floored on a constant position, you can just kick that right back up with your elbow, put it out of the way, and go ahead and do your job and keep it on floored. The only downside, one of the reasons that I could give you an example of where you wouldn't like the left-handed throttle configuration is if you're in tight places, say you're going in between a boat and a house or something, and you're trying to operate, you got an item right here, you also got the blower tube, which is on your right hand side. Sometimes it creates issues where you're trying to turn around inside of a tight confined area. So that's one of the reasons you may not like the left-handed version. But honestly, it's personal preference. So whichever one you decide to go with, it's whatever you're more comfortable with, either the right-handed or the left-handed version. Just make sure you pick that and stick with it. You can't go wrong either way. There's half a dozen reasons why one's good, or half a dozen reasons why the other one's better. So it's in favor either way. So just pick what you're more comfortable with. The backpack blowers from Husqvarna come with a 2-year commercial or residential warranty. Now, Husqvarna does have a promo if you want to extend that out, and it's stuff that you can purchase from us, while you're picking up the backpack blower, or something's not listed on the website, just call in and place the order with us over the phone. But if you pick up a 6-pack of oil to go with your backpack blower, and they have various different bottle sizes in that, Husqvarna will give you, instead of a 2-year factory warranty, now this is on the consumer or the residential side, they will bump you up to a 3-year warranty. So pretty nice. You pay for a 6-pack of oil, you're going to use the oil anyways, and then you can you get an extra warranty for free, which is real nice. If you purchase 3 of their pre-mixed gas oil fuel cans, you can go all the way out to a 4-year factory warranty. So, and then this is the super high octane, no ethanol gas from Husqvarna, which is real nice, and it's pre-mixed with your oil. So just a couple, or a nice little promotion that Husqvarna is running. So, and once again, don't forget about the kids. Everybody wants to be like mom and dad. Husqvarna's got a whole line of cool toys that are battery operated, make noises, they move. And the blower, yes, it even blows air and it makes noises as well. So, add one of those to the purchase for next birthday or Christmas or whatever's coming up, whatever special holiday you got. So, thanks for tuning in.